Hi, everybody. We're back. It's Lisa.
And Danielle.
And today we have a funny little story brought to you by Miss Danielle.
Oh, shit.
Us in our car sagas again. And actually, there's a couple stories she's got for us because the past 3 days have been an adventure for her. So
I didn't know. Well, okay. So I didn't know which one you were going to. I literally just got done telling you I thought I smelled like dog shit.
yeah, no, it's just the
dog
coffee.
shit. So I wasn't sure
I'm
what
saying
you were going to have
2
me
days
talk
ago
about.
with
Okay, my car.
Was it the windshield or the tire?
Yeah.
That forced you to use a different car. And then that one, yes, you just start from there.
Yeah, okay. So on Monday night, I was driving home from work and naturally I had my tire light come on, and so I called Jared and I was like, hey, I need you to check my tires when I get home. And Lisa, I'm sure you're gonna appreciate this one. He was like, what did you hit? And I was like, what?
Have you learned nothing? Have you learned nothing? We've talked about this before.
Yeah, I literally said to him, why is the immediate assumption that I deliberately ran into a bag of nails?
Right.
Or anything. Like, I seek out curbs and deliberately run into shit.
Yep.
I was like, I didn't hit anything. I literally just pulled out of the parking lot. So I'm like, can you please just check my tire when I get home? I have to be somewhere. I have to be in Tucson early in the morning. So I'm going to leave super early. I just need to know if I'm going to park this car behind my other car or if I need to take my, take my other car out of the garage.
Yeah.
My other car, I don't take out of the garage. I haven't driven it in probably a month. So anyway, we get home and sure enough, he checks my tires. I have a screw, not a nail, a screw right in the middle of one of my tires.
Yeah.
So takes it off. We, decide he's going to have it taken to discount in the morning. Hayden's going to drop it off, and very nice of her. Well, I drive my other car and lo and behold, on the freeway, a rock just seeks me out and hits my windshield.
Yes.
And I was like, why not? Why would you not hit my windshield today? First time I've driven my car in a month. Why would I not have to get a new windshield, then have to have that calibrated and whatever the fuck else they have to do?
Yes.
Yeah. So then naturally I text Lisa and I'm like, gosh, of course I have to get my windshield done now. I have no tire on one car. I have a windshield that needs to be replaced on another car. And so I think that's the end of it until today. And I'm sitting at a Starbucks early this morning and I get a notification. My car tells me that the battery is going to die, which I've never seen this before. It's like this little yellow battery symbol that comes up, and it's like, I can't even remember now. I should have taken a picture of it, but it's like a little symbol of a battery that pops up and it's like charge battery, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my car's not going to turn on. I'm going to be stuck in this parking lot in the middle of Goodyear. And so I called Jared and I'm like, hey, I have this light coming on. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I have this light coming on. The battery's not going to work on my car. And he's like, well, just start the car and drive and it'll charge the battery. And I'm like, but that means the next place I go, that my car may not start there. And I'm still in Goodyear, Glendale, I'm 40 minutes, 50 minutes away from home. So he seems unconcerned. He's not concerned about this. So my car starts and I get partially to where I'm going. And the next part makes me sound horrible, but I'm going to explain. I don't drive this car right now. And I was on vacation. Everyone knows I just got back from this vacation in Colorado. So it simply has been an oversight. I did not pay registration on this car yet because it has been in the garage and I just haven't done it. And so anyway, it's 15 days overdue or something, 20 days overdue.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was due at the end of August. So Jared's like, just take take the car. It's just a couple days. We're going to get your tire back today. I'll put your tire back on your car that I drive around town and we'll be fine. And I'm like, cool. Well, pull out of the Starbucks parking lot. I am not even like probably 15 feet away from where my meeting is. Goodyear PD is behind me. And I was like, it's going to happen. It's happening.
Here we are.
I see him.
Here it
And
is.
he is so close. I'm like, you absolutely can see that sticker. It does not say September. It does not say 2024.
Oh, yeah.
And the lights come on. And I was like, yes. So I pull into a church parking lot. And like Lisa had explained her getting pulled over story, I roll my windows down. And I damn near fly out the window. And I'm like, hi, good morning. And he's like, do you know? And I said, I know. Why? Yes. And he's like, do you know why I pulled you over? And I was like, I know all the reasons.
Which one are you thinking about?
Yeah, so I'm listing like the crack in my windshield, the expired registration. I was going 48 miles in a 35. Like, which one are you referring to? Because I'll just lay them all out there for you. Like, I absolutely know I was doing wrong.
Yeah.
So he kind of chuckles at that point and he's like, license? And I was like, so that too, I've got a weapon in the car. And I don't know where my driver's license is. It could very well be right there. And I was like, I will show you where the weapon is. And so he chuckles again, and he's kind of this younger guy. And so he's looking at me like, you're a fucking nightmare. And he like laughs. So I like lift up where the gun is. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, my license is like somewhere over here. And I've got a bunch of shit sitting on the chair next to me. And Jared's like, yes, she does. And so I'm like, it's over there somewhere. So he allows me to like dig through my shit. I find my driver's license and I'm like, I'll give you my registration, but it's like expired. So then I go for my insurance. And of course my insurance is on my phone, right?
Right.
And now Farmer's app is like, log in. I'm like, oh, I can't log in. It's under Jared. So then I'm like, God dang it. I call Jared and I'm like, so he walks away. He walks back to his car. I'm like trying to get this picture to show up on my phone. It's not showing up. I'm like, I am so sorry. I swear to you, I am not like disheveled like this. I would not do this. And this is when it comes out. I swear I do not do this. My husband is a police officer. And he looks at me and he's like, all right, who's he work for? And I was like, and I'm laughing because I'm like, I promise you, I never drive this car and I would not do this. And I was like, and I swear to you, I have insurance and he just needs to send me the picture. So I'm like, he walks back up to the car and Jared's on the phone. I was like, just send me the picture. And he's like, the insurance? And the guy's like, is that him? And I was like, yeah, that's him. And I just need a picture of the insurance card. So long story short, I did not get a ticket. This guy had really great teeth. And of course, I'm in dentistry. Mm-hmm. He was wearing Invisalign trays. So I almost said, who's your dentist?
You should have.
I almost did. And he was like, where are you headed? And I was like, I am literally headed, like, I could walk 10 steps and be at the office. Like, I'm just trying to get
watching. They're probably watching from the window now.
I swear to you, I was like, I am literally just trying to get right there, like the building next door. He just chuckled and he was like, get out of here. Just be careful. Tell your friends not to pull me over on my way home, I said, and I rolled my window up and I left. And yeah, but I mean, it's just been, so now I don't like, this particular doctor, his wife had told me maybe a couple weeks ago. And so I was like laughing hysterically in my garage while Jared was teaching Jameson how to change the tire. Okay.
Yeah.
I am like laughing in tears, laughing. So this doctor of mine was telling me, his wife was telling me that when they first moved here, they were very young. When they first moved here, she was on the 51, and I forget if it was a friend of theirs or if it was him that changed the tire in their truck. She's like, I was driving down the 51 and all of a sudden she's like, I felt like I was on the freeway, like lopsided. And then I saw a tire and she's like, the tire was definitely off my car and it was flying into traffic.
Oh.
And she's like, I didn't know anywhere. I didn't know where I was. I just moved there. I didn't even know my address. And so she's like, I had to get out of the car and like walk to the nearest place to find help. So all I'm picturing, well, first I'm like in the garage laughing hysterically to myself. Jared's like, what are you laughing at? And I'm like, you're teaching this kid, Jameson. My son's like 5'0" nothing. And he's so tiny. But I'm like, you're teaching Jameson to put my tire on my car. All I'm thinking is, I'm going to get on the freeway and my tire's going to fall off.
Yes.
And then I'm going to have another car incident. Yeah. I'm going to take the bus.
I think even the bus might be safer at this point.
I don't even know. I literally was a mess this morning. It wasn't even 7:30 in the morning by the time this all happened.
Oh, yeah, great start.
No, it was like 6:40 maybe when the like battery light came on. And then I got to their office by 7:30, so it had to have been like right before then that he pulled me over in the church parking lot.
Wow.
Yeah, I should have been like, don't you know Jesus? He would not do this. And you have nice teeth.
You have nice teeth. Make sure you soak those Invisaligns at night. How do you clean them?
It took everything in me not to be like, who's your dentist?
Great.
He'd have been like, you're a Looney Tune lady, go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's your husband, by the way?
Yeah, he's like, sure.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Pulled this weirdo over this morning.
It's hilarious.
I know. Good for Jared. I never actually said his name, so he didn't get involved.
Yeah, that's good.
I know. But I just don't know how to get away from it. I mean, shame on me. I should have paid my registration. Like, I will do it now because I have to drive that damn car still. But, like, I don't ever get pulled over. Ever.
I wish I could say the same. I get pulled over too much.
I could drive like a lunatic and I don't get pulled over. Like, I'm inviting them to pull me over and I don't get pulled over. And then today, I get pulled over.
Well, if you fill out you know this, if you get your registration done, they give you a receipt, you can print it out and it shows. So if you do get stopped again for it, but they know they run it, they know. So
it's like a fix-it ticket, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta fix my brain.
It's insane. I just can't believe 2 days in a row. Well, I can. You know why? Because I had experience once where I had my car in the shop getting a new windshield and getting it recalibrated, and they give me a loaner when I do that, when I go there. So I'm in the loaner, I leave there, and I get a crack in the windshield in the loaner. Yeah.
That happened to me.
It was like, what?
Yes, I picked up that when I dropped my car off for service, I picked up that red like A5 or whatever I was driving, and it was so cute. Little sports car. And I was like, ooh, I really want one of these. It's so cute. I got on the 10 and I was like right near Casa Grande, and it like hit the passengers, a rock hit the passenger side of the windshield. And I got back home. I had the car for like 2 or 3 days. I got back home and Jared was like, no, you didn't. So then I saw that same, because you know how they like give loaner cars out? Like, so I saw that same car coming out of the Audi Gilbert location. And I was like, they did not fix that windshield.
Oh, they didn't.
No, because it was on the passenger side. So it wasn't like in like the line of sight or whatever. So, but it was still there. And I was like, oh my gosh, who did that?
So funny.
I
Yeah,
know.
when I pulled into the like bay with the rental to pick up my car, my service guy walked over and he was just shaking his head. So I called right after it happened and said, "Hey, guess what happened?" So when I pulled up and he looked at it, he's like, "You were just bad luck. It's you."
Embarrassing.
Yeah.
So embarrassing.
No.
I don't know.
So
I wish it were different. But the boys literally act like we are like asking for things, like we're seeking out like shit in the road. We're like, oh, barricade, hit that, like it's a video game.
Right.
And that is not what's happening.
Yep. I agree.
No.
I do all kinds of moves like James Bond on the highway to avoid any truck, any tractor trailer, anything hauling anything, but it still happens. Like nothing works. So it is me.
You're like Tom Cruise's stunt double.
Basically, which is why I get pulled over all the time. And I think I said that once. Do you know I pulled you? Yeah, I was speeding. I was trying to get around that rock truck, so I didn't get blasted again. And he kind of laughed. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I think we should seriously look into those windshield shields.
Yeah, that material that covers it, and it's like, okay, but think about this. So windshield has that material on it that is like, so the glass doesn't break super easy, right?
Right.
So what is this other layer of stuff that keeps it from like extra not breaking? Like, what is it?
I don't know. I haven't called them or really searched it, like looked into it too much. All I can think of is it's kind of like the screen protectors on our phone.
Okay.
That it would absorb the impact and not the windshield. But with that being said,
I can break that shit pretty easy too, though.
Right. So if that's true, you'd still have the hassle of bringing it there. I'm sure it's under warranty for them to replace it within a certain amount of years, but maybe not. Maybe I got that wrong. I'm just assuming that's what it's like, but maybe it is completely different and it's something that stuff bounces off of, or who knows. Or maybe it just, instead of it being a chip or a big crack, it just does like a divot. Maybe it's a little just tougher.
I don't know.
I don't either. But it's worth looking into, I think, at this point. Because now, for example, I'm bringing my car on Friday to get it serviced, and I'm also getting my windshield replaced because it broke, and I was waiting for this service appointment, so I didn't have to make 2 visits so they can do my service and do the recalibration. And I'm doing that on Friday, and I had a point to this. Oh, and from that moment forward, I'm going to be anxious until the first thing hits it.
Yes.
You know, at least now it's broken, it's cracked, like from north to south. Like it's the funny lady at the insurance company when we called to get it approved. She's like, "Is the crack longer than a dollar bill?" And I was like, "It's longer than many dollar bills. It's practically running north and south on my windshield," which is true. It's giant.
It's hit the entire thing so far.
Yeah, it's massive. But yeah, it's going to get fixed on Friday. And guess what? Until my first little rock hits me again, I'm going to be a nervous wreck just waiting for it, because it never lasts more than a couple days without something.
That's insane. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, I know you like this stuff too. So I'm like a Dateline junkie, right? Mm-hmm. Have you been listening to the most recent like episodes or like watching them?
I haven't listened to one since last week, so no. But okay. I need to. I will listen to them, and then I need to go home and put faces to the names, so I have to watch it after that.
Okay. I feel like, okay, we were just talking about this weekend, that when you finally put the face to the name, and you're like, what the fuck? Right? But there is one that's about this. Okay, so it's new, so you're gonna have to listen to it. But it's one about this dentist.
Oh,
And sorry, everyone, I keep going on this like this dental rant somehow, but it just ended up being the episode. But I'm like, how do people not know? And then how does it take, like, he killed 2 wives and he killed them the same way. How does it take, like, law enforcement and everyone else around them? And then he lives this normal life with kids and then the second wife. And then he's a dentist for so long.
wow.
Right?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know.
You're gonna have to listen to it, but I'm like, I sit there in my car and I'm like, no way. No shit. Like, I would have thought this fool killed the first wife the first time, and I never would have let this go.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
And
know.
like the whole thing sounds stupid from the beginning.
Right.
Like, okay, so when you're listening to these Dateline episodes, do you ever like get to the part where you're like, oh, this is stupid, and you turn it off because you're like, you guys can't figure this out?
Yes. Yes.
I'm like, I already figured this out. Like, that's who killed everyone. And then you turn it back on and you're like, all right, I'm going to see this through because you guys are idiots.
Yeah.
It's almost like when I listen to Crime Junkies and I'm like clapping in my car for them because I'm like, yeah, you guys are right. Like, fight for these idiots. And the girls are like, they're so stupid. And I get it. Like, we're married to law enforcement, but sometimes they're like, law enforcement, you guys are wrong. You're so stupid. Because it's true, they can't figure it out. But you're gonna have to hear that episode, because this morning I was like, this is craziness. I can't even believe that no one figured this fool out.
Yeah. Yeah, it shocks me, and I think it all comes down to, I don't know, what do I know just from secondhand information, but it seems like it's always in these smaller towns. There's not a huge city, or not as big as, the obvious big ones like here or New York.
I don't know. I feel like we should have been PIs.
It's always these small places. It feels like, anyway. Where did this happen at? Do you know?
I can't recall. Yeah, I can't recall now. I listened to it early this morning, but like, it literally makes me, when I listen to these things, I'm like, all right, Danielle, someone was murdered. You have to solve this.
Yes.
And then I want to get like a police scanner and like all these things, so I can be like in the know.
Yeah.
And solve the crime because I want to do better. Yeah. I'm like, there's no way that you didn't solve this sooner than that. But I don't know. It's insane. And it was like a 7-year-old little boy that like found his mom killed by the dad. And the boy was like, my dad did it. It's crazy.
Ugh. How terrible.
I know. Some of me has to stop listening to those things early in the morning. Because then I like go through it all day and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. What if? And then I'm like, yeah, I'm like replaying the whole thing.
I know. Sometimes they stick with you for a while. I remember I was listening to one, and I wish I could remember. It was some serial killer. It was one of them. I don't know which one, but I don't remember ever hearing about them before until I heard this podcast episode. And this fool, albeit genius, it's terrifying. He got away with it for so long. And you know why? Because he would kill these people, and then he would go out looking at grave sites to find a dug up hole for someone that they were going to bury the next day, because they usually dig those the day prior. And he would go find one somewhere, put that body in there, cover it with just enough dirt, knowing that the next day they were going to be dropping somebody on top of them.
What?
Yes. And he only got caught after a body had been exhumed for something, or moved, or something happened. And when they did, the remains underneath had shown at that point. And they were able to figure it out. How, I have no idea. But yes, that's what he did. He went around to cemetery after cemetery looking for a freshly dug hole.
To put bodies in?
To put his victims in, and then he would cover them up with just enough dirt so no one would notice. And then the next day, a body would be put in there with their casket and no one would ever know.
I mean, so sick, but genius.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
wow.
Yes.
Well, did you know that there's like the Murda?
Yeah.
There's like still stuff going on with that whole thing.
I know, and it's blazingly. That was another one at the very beginning. I'm like, oh, this does not take a rocket science.
Thank you.
It's so obvious. How did they get away with that for so long? It's incredible.
Yeah, remember we talked about this when we were on our trip, but it's like, there's one person who seems to be at the center of all of this, and somehow no one is saying that you're guilty.
Yep.
And now, now they're trying to like overturn or not overturn this or do something with it because like of financial reasons or something, right?
Yes. I guess he doesn't have any money left to pay attorneys.
Boo-hoo!
Right. It's crazy. I just don't know how people thought any of this was a coincidence. Like, how do you know? Do you know what I mean? Like, bodies just dropping all around this guy. At what point do you say, okay, you know what? He seems like a nice guy, but this is blaringly obvious. And I think, did I say blaringly? I did.
Yeah.
I meant blazingly. Right?
I'm okay with whatever word comes out.
You know what I'm saying. You know what I mean. It's just so obvious. I don't know. I just shake my head. But it makes for good. I mean, it's sad what's happened to those people. It's really awful. But.
Well, okay. So here's the thing. Like, it makes me feel like, do we have to keep like a murder journal? Like, if anything happens to me, it is these people. Oh. Right? Because, like, if someone were to take me out today, is it ever going to get solved? I'm relatively normal, and like everyone around me is like pretty normal. So if I got like murdered, who are they going to hold responsible if I don't leave some breadcrumbs? So do we have to start leaving breadcrumbs? Do I need to write a book? Like some sort of like breadcrumb book?
Like every rando weird thing that happens?
Yep. Like the guy that creeped me out at the gas station? Maybe he followed me home. I don't know. Did he write down my license plate? Who knows?
Right.
We don't know any of this.
No.
Or is it like, I don't know, are they people closer to us, but they're not like super close? Like I got weirded out by this guy on Facebook who I haven't, weirdos. Anyway, like I was like, who are you friend requesting me? We've talked about this before on here. Like, don't be sliding into people's DMs when you don't have any purpose to be sliding into people's stuff.
Yeah.
But I was like, what is this all about? Are you following me?
Right.
Maybe he goes in the book. I don't know.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be men all the time either.
Yeah. It might have to be an audio recording because you're always like kind of on the road. And I feel like you're not going to be able to write down everything. So you're just going to have to go into voice notes and
but
share.
What if my phone gets smushed?
You share that folder with me. And every time there's an update, I'll have it. Because I won't rest until that shit's figured out.
What if they find you and kill you too?
I'm going to be on high alert with security. I will.
We've actually planned this out pretty good.
Yeah. I have such bad luck that these things go through my mind all the time. That I am just planning my escape from wherever and whatever I'm doing if something happens. I do all day long. Now, I know I do that because I'm neurotic. But at the same time, I'm not naive enough to think that somebody's going to catch me off guard one day.
That's really funny. So I used to think when I was like, I mean, I might still have these weird thoughts, but when I'm in like a house or even like hotel rooms, certain things like that, I always think about the escape, like what's the escape route, right? Like not even escape, but like, where can I hide? And so the one place in the house I always think about is where's the attic
Mm-hmm.
and how do you get up there
Right.
and who can be up there? And so
Mm-hmm.
when I was little, I always used to think about like, am I close to that? Is there something to get up there? And can someone else get up there and will they know where it is?
Yeah.
And even as an adult, I still think about that. I'm like, well, the ceilings are really high in the house now, so I don't think I can get up there, but can someone else be hiding up there? Are they going to come down? I never sleep close to the, like, closest to the door. I let Jared sleep closest to the door because if anyone comes in here, he's going to be the first to get bumped in the head, not me. Then I'll have time to run.
Mm-hmm. But if
And
you're not
he's
near
like,
the door,
see, there's too many scenarios to think through.
yeah, that's true. You know, the last house I lived in alone. The one evening, I was walking on the side of the house doing something over there. I went outside to maybe put something in the trash can or something, and I remember looking up, and it was a 1-story house, but it had an attic. And I remember looking up the side of the house, and I saw a light on in the attic. There wasn't a window, but it was like vents, but I could see a light up there. And I was like, what is that?
Mm-mm.
Right? I'd never been up there. I can't remember who I had come take a look at it. I think it was one of my neighbors or something. Like, hey, can you just climb up here? Make sure you don't see like old candy wrappers and chips and a blanket and a pillow. Because maybe, and since I'd lived there, no one had been up there for anything like an AC person or anything like that. And obviously, I would assume there's lights up there for those purposes. But it was left on. And how long? I have no idea. I had lived in the house for over a year at that point. So there was no way that... Yeah, it creeps me out. But I was like, if you see one candy wrapper, we are out. Just give me a code word and I'm running.
I don't know if I'd be creeped out by candy wrappers. I'd be like, if you see a condom.
Or a towel that seems well used.
Yeah, I think I would be hyper focused on like condoms, crispy towels, and like, I don't know if I'd be worried about candy.
Well, it would just be proof that somebody's been living up there.
True.
You know?
Yeah.
Terrifying. So now, anywhere I live, you best believe that attic is getting checked out.
Well, like for an inspection, they go up there.
That's true. That's probably when it happened, and they just left that light on. But then it was like, is that an LED light or a regular light? Because my house could have burned down. That thing was left on for a year, right?
What if it was, what are the, like solar? Like it just went on and off with the sun.
it was plugged in. It was a light bulb that was screwed into a light fixture, not a light fixture, but just like the attachment. And it just had one little string to pull. It was just a bulb. There was nothing around it or anything. It was just strictly for the purpose of seeing if somebody had to go up there to do work.
Oh, wow.
So, but yeah, it was like, okay, that's a regular light bulb. My house could have burned down. It was getting super hot. I can't believe it didn't burn out after a year, to be honest with you.
So I asked Jared the same thing, actually, because we're doing like Halloween decorations and he wants to put this decoration up in the attic where this window is. And I was like, totally fine. And he's like, well, what if I put these like lights up there that like flicker? And I was like, yeah, totally fine. And then my immediate thought was, our house is going to burn down. And he was like, no, I'll just set it on a timer. And I'm like, but what if it gets too hot? What if, but I guess that's a good point. Like if it's an LED light, it shouldn't get super, super hot, right?
Yeah, they make those all LED now. So as long as they're not
I'm
really
such a weirdo though. I'm just like, even during the winter, sometimes if we turn the heater on, I like crack my window.
Yeah. Because of the gas. Is it gas heat?
Yeah. I'm like terrified to die of.
Yeah, I'm really scared about gas. I actually tried my best to not own a home with it in there because it freaked me out. But
it's so efficient.
Kind of gotten over it. Oh yeah, it works great. It's just, and especially when you first turn on, like we've got a fireplace, and I mostly just use it for effect. But that first time you turn it on, or the first time you turn your heat on, and you just smell that gas, it is the worst thing. And I am
okay. So the dog, this is creepy.
Mhm.
So we always put things like, if I ever order pizza for the kids or something, I put the pizza box on the stove, right? And there's been a couple times, and I don't usually leave things on the stove. We have gas, so I don't usually leave things on the stove. But there's been a couple times that the dog will, one of our German Shepherds, everyone, we have one that like loves pizza and anything really he can get his paws on. But he jumps up to the stove and his foot will hit the gas. So he turns the gas on. Well, not just turning the gas on, he has hit the thing where it ignites the stove.
Ugh.
So there hasn't been anything up there. We've been over there when this happens. And like, we'll kind of like not laugh about it, but we're like, get down, get down, get down.
Mm-hmm.
He's certainly stolen things off the countertop before. Well, I was perusing Facebook one day and I see this video of someone that had a dog that jumped up, turned a gas stove on, and lit a pizza box on fire. And like fire alarms go off, everything. And they were home, so they like put the fire out. And I immediately sent it to Jared and I was like, oh my gosh, Moose is going to light our house on fire. Yeah. So now every time I go to the kitchen, I like move anything that could like catch on fire away from the stove because he's home by himself all day long. Oh, and I'm like, this fool's going to light my house on fire.
You need to get those knobs. Those
like the baby ones?
Yes. And you put them on those things so they can't be turned. Obviously you teach your kids how to use it so they can turn the stove if they cook on the stove. Just put those things on it and then you don't have to worry about it because it'll keep them from knocking them and turning it on.
How ridiculous that I'm baby proofing my stove from my dog.
Because even if there is no pizza box on it and you ignite it, doesn't that, even if, I don't know how gas works, but doesn't it?
Even if he doesn't ignite it, even if he turns the knob, he's turning the gas on.
That's what I mean. Yeah, there's that.
So the gas is running through the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's what he does. If he jumps up there, he turns the thing.
Yeah, you need those.
So I'm terrified of that.
Yeah, you got to get those just for peace of mind.
Oh, I know. I still smell like dog shit. Just there's something behind this, everyone. I was telling Lisa that I stopped at a coffee shop and now I didn't realize it before, but I walked in and I have dogs at home. So I was like, oh my gosh, someone pooped in the house. It is not dog poop in my house. It is me. And I smell like burnt coffee. And it's like that smell of like it's like in my skin from sitting in the coffee shop.
I know. I hate that.
It's gotta be like, I have to like wash my hair. It's terrible.
Yeah, I get it.
I can't not smell it.
Going in and getting what I order and leaving. Yeah, I don't even have to sit in there. My hair just soaks it up and my clothes. That Starbucks is the worst. And then Subway.
It's like Subway. Yes.
And I love Subway sandwiches. They're my favorite sandwiches, actually, out of all of them. But I hate going in there because I will leave smelling like weird bread.
I smell like dog shit right now.
Right.
I can't unsmell it. It is like in my skin.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like the fact that I normally smell very nice. And I feel like I cannot unsmell like dog poop.
Yeah.
And it is burnt coffee. It's like burnt coffee.
Mm-hmm.
It smells awful.
I know.
And it's gotta be like my hair. I don't know.
Isn't that weird though? Because when you walk in, you're like, oh, it smells so good in here. I love the smell of coffee. Right. But so how is it that when you're there like live, it smells great, but when you smell it on yourself after, it smells horrible?
I love coffee though. Like and I rarely have this. Like I get coffee every day. So I rarely feel this. Like where I am like looking at my dogs like, you bastards. It is not them. You're not guilty.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
No,
they're
it's
like, oh,
terrible.
that's you, girl. That's not us.
Right? They're like, hey, hey,
Hmm.
bitch, it's you. Yeah, no,
Right?
it's terrible.
Hmm.
I can't unsmell it though. It's bad. It's
Yeah.
really bad.
Go shower.
Like, but you know what's weird about that is don't they give you like when you're smelling perfume, don't they give you like coffee beans to sniff on to like change your
Yes. That's what doesn't
sniffer?
make sense. Yeah, that's why I don't get it at all. Because you walk in there and you smell it, it smells great, and you leave there and you're like, well, what has happened?
But I guess those aren't burnt coffee beans. They're like coffee beans.
No, but like I said, like when you walk in there, you're like, oh, it smells so good, right? Like you don't walk in there and you're just like, oh, get me out. So it's weird to me.
I don't know, but I even changed my clothes. So it's definitely like deep inside my skin right now.
Yeah, for sure. And your hair is the worst. It absorbs everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not absorbing all that color stuff that I put on it. I get gray within like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
This is horrible. I turned 40 and now the gray is like, "Oh, you wanted 6 weeks? Here's 3."
yeah.
Here I am coming with a vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be
41, you're going to get out of bed and be wobbly for the first like 20 steps. I'll keep you abreast of each year what where your new symptoms will be.
I'm already like, look,
Yeah,
everyone, just so you know, I'm showing my gray hair like in this video.
yeah. I've got them too. It's always right here, front and center.
Yes.
Like, why can't they like pop up behind my neck? Not behind my neck, behind my head at the base of my neck where no one sees unless my hair's up. No,
Yeah, if any of you
never
ladies
get
have
gray
like
there.
a
Never get
magic,
gray.
yeah, magic that gets you through from color to color, let us know because we are willing to try for our dark brown hair. We don't have blonde hair.
Yeah, I feel like I've tried them all.
Yeah, and I'm not ready to go like light. Like I'm not, I don't want to. I like having darker hair, so I'm not ready to go like light and like flush out the gray.
Yeah, or try to conceal it and blend it in.
No, Jared's like, just go gray. And I'm like, do you realize what a process that is? Like, and I'm not fully like silver gray yet. Like, I'm 40, Tard.
Yeah,
I can't do that.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what the best answer is, but it certainly doesn't. I can't go, what, 8? No, like 8 weeks? How long do we go in between right now? It's a
Yeah,
long time.
it's definitely between 6 and 8. I know.
There's no magic number right now.
Mm-mm.
There's hair paint.
I feel like if we even went at 3 weeks, our hair would adapt and start growing in like 3 days. That's the kind of shit that would happen to me. Like, oh, we're doing this.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I smell those chemicals coming. That's what it would do.
Yeah.
It's like, I smell those chemicals coming. Guess what? Here's the gray.
We're gonna power through. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Look, I'm just happy I survived today without a ticket.
Me too. Do you have to drive anywhere tomorrow?
Yes, to North Scottsdale for the rest of the week until Sunday.
My goodness.
So,
Proceed with caution.
and I do have to take the car that's not registered as of right now. I'm going to do that when I get off this video.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as we're done recording and all of this fun stuff, I will sometime through this evening get that done. So I am legal.
So now you have only 4 violations instead of.
There's like 2 big cracks in my windshield.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a insurance card. Jared sent it to me.
Nice.
And so that's it. I will probably be speeding at some point tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sorry, policemen's and women's. But yeah, I shouldn't get pulled over for anything like super terrible.
Yeah.
I hope anyway.
No, it'd be good.
Is your man cub in there dancing like this right now?
No, not yet. It's the dogs stalking me because it's close to their dinner time. So
Do you love that?
And he just heard the word, and so now
It's game on.
it's on. If I don't produce a meal in the next 5 minutes, they will probably eat me.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's incredible. Their little clocks, all just staring at me. Like, get on with it. You know what you're supposed to do. In fact, I swear sometimes Luke tries to lead me to the laundry room where I feed them. He will like almost do all but grab my hand and pull me into there.
You're so smart.
So smart. Oh, yes.
It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah. All right.
We made it. We made it another day, another week.
Yep. This just means that you've got them all out of the way in 1 week. And mine are just going to come at me. Just when I get over one, another one's going to hit me. So I'll keep you posted.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You need to go back and you need to see that episode of Dateline.
Yes, I will. I'm going to look it up right now.
Yeah. You need to look at it.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Stay happy and stay healthy. And we will be back next week with another episode.
Oh, and by the way, everybody check your registration. Make sure they're not overdue. And you know what? I know no one does it anymore, but just keep paper copies in your glove compartment.
Well, okay, so that's part of the issue. They send these emails now. They don't send you anything in the mail. Mm-hmm. Not like I check my mail often anyway, like once a month. But anyway, I have so many emails coming to my email box. I can't even tell you that I received anything.
Yeah.
I have to look at the back of my car to see when it's due.
Oh.
Look, nothing is safe like that around me. I'm very organized, but there are certain things that I'm probably less organized at, and that's one of them. Yeah. I knew, I just haven't driven the car, so.
Yeah.
I will take full ownership of me getting pulled over for that this morning. I knew better.
Yep. Lesson learned.
Lesson learned. Totally. All right, everyone. We will be back next week. So until next time, and we will talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.